A very good afternoon to all the participants here. Thank you for giving your valuable time today. So we are about to start. I would like to introduce our today's speaker, Ms. Zahira Sheikh, who is an academic excellence coach working to make learning enjoyable and experiential. Born and brought up in Kolkata and graduated from Kolkata University, she has an experience of around 15 years of teaching students, especially foundation level. She has acquired certificate from British Council in bringing STEM in school from and is leading STEM implementations in Delhi NCR schools as a STEM coach. She has done curriculum designing from Lambeth Teaching Schools Alliance with the UK. And to add on, she has also earned a certificate on teaching critical thinking and problem solving as well. Last but not the least, she was also selected among the 25 shortlisted teachers to participate in a joint venture of India and UK to transform education through a workshop on effective curriculum at Lambeth Teaching Schools Alliance UK. So thank you, Zahira ma'am, to be here with us, and over to you.
Thank you, Devyang, for your kind words. It's really a pleasure to me to have this huge participant, and thank you for introducing me so nicely. So, hello, participant. Good afternoon. Okay, so my name is Zahira Sheikh, and today I'm going to give you a brief, interesting fact and strategies about how to make mathematics interesting for your children, right? Okay, so as we all know that as an educator or parent or as a student, we least bother about the consequences that happen after the school. The students leave the school by saying that, like, I don't find any interest in maths. I'm not a math person, and we hardly give any importance to that saying. Why? उन लोग ऐसा क्यों बोलते हैं? Because throughout the life we face every now and then the mathematical questions, mathematical situations that we have to encounter, but we leave that by saying this ke nahi, maths mere matlab ka nahi hai, it's not a cup of my tea. Okay, so today I'm just going to give you a small introduction or short introduction about the strategies which definitely spark your brain as well as give a smile on your face, right? So let me share my schedule. Before I share my schedule, I would like to have one question with you, and I have a question for you all. Like, Shirley's birthday is one of 10 possible dates that I'm going to share the dates over here, right? Okay, and this question is nowadays very viral on internet and social media, so it's my question to you all. Can you just tell me what would be the date for Cheryl's birthday, and the conditions what I'm going to share, just read it carefully, and if you want to have a snapshot of it, you can. Cheryl's tells the month to Abu and the day to Bina, two of her friends. She shares her month, the birth date month, and the day to two different people. Okay. Abu says that please go through the conversation carefully. Abu says, I don't know the birthday, but I know Bina doesn't know either. Right? Bina then says, I didn't know at first, but now I do know. But what? But then Abu says, now I also know Cheryl's birthday. Can you all guess when it is Cheryl's birthday? Any idea? No. I'm not going to give you answer. Sorry. Okay. I'm not going to give you the answer. Yeah, but I'll definitely discuss this question at the end of the session. So please be attentive, and might be you will get the answer in the throughout the session, right? Okay. So what is lying, like, what is the target, today's target that we are going to focus on, right? First, What is mathematics? We'll discuss. Then Singapore model to teach mathematics. We are going to discuss about the Singapore model, what exactly the Singaporean education system follows to have a numeracy skill development among the students, right? And what is CPA approach? I know most of you are the teachers and you have attended the workshop conducted by the SAR and you are aware of SCPA approach, but I would like to have a detailed like explanation, or you can say the discussion on this CPA approach, right? And 5 principles to develop numeracy skills. And it's just, this is not just for the teachers or the educators, but it's for like, it is mandatory for the parents as well, because nowadays we are having homeschooling and students are spending a lot of time with their parents and family members. So these principles should be like focused by the parents as well. Mathematics curriculum framework. What exactly the framework should look like? Mathematics curriculum should look like, I'm going to share at the end. Okay. So what is math? I would like to hear from you first. What do you think about the word math, mathematics, arithmetic? What exactly the visualization or the fact that it's float in front of you when the word you listen, the hear the math? Just please leave your comments in the message chat box. I'm waiting for the reply. Whatever the thought like pervades in your brain, in front of your eyes, the image floats, just write it down. What exactly you think about maths and where do you find this math? Okay. Calculations, science of numbers, everywhere, number games, counting. Wow, so many answers. Oh, really? Plays with numbers, patterns, number everywhere. I can guess that most of you are like maths people. You love maths or you scared maths, right? Everywhere, logical reasoning, right? Computing, math is playing with numbers. So to add on to more definition, math is a human language, just like English, Spanish, or Chinese, right? This is also a language which can be seen from the ancient time where it's trading or any the building of monuments or bridges. Whatever we do have integrated mathematics in everywhere, every work. As a homemaker, if we cook something, we prepare some dish, we do have a proportion, right? To have a delicious dish, we do have a proportion of ingredients we cook, right? So maths is everywhere. And one of the scientists or the scholars also said this: the work of nature is written in the language of mathematics. Whatever we see around us, it's in language of mathematics. If we see, if we understand maths, if we can visualize maths around us, we will find that everywhere is maths, right? And this is what Galileo also agrees with my this finding. Okay. So language approach, what exactly language approach is, right? We teach students addition, subtraction, division, multiplication, so many operations with numbers, but they do really understand when they grow and step to the higher classes and encounter with calculus, trigonometry, mensurations, and the angles and the cos theta and sin theta. Do they really find interesting in those things? No, they find distracted. They find distraction. They don't understand what exactly the sines, theta, the pi, right? They don't understand. They don't find anything in the nature around them, the use of those signs. But if you use the language approach, it is easy to teach fraction to the kindergarten, right? See, if I'm just taking one example, that 1 apple plus 1 apple makes how many apples? 2 apples, right? This sums can be done by kindergarten, 5 years old or 4 years old child. Yes, this can be. Again, the next question, 3 pencils, 2 pencils makes 5 pencils. Again, it's easy for them to understand, don't you think? Right? Because they can see apples, pencils around them. What do you think if a 4-year child has been asked this question, 4 billion plus 1 billion, how many billions are there? What do you think? You will get an answer, 5 billions? Say yes or no. Yes, you will get, because you're using language. They are they are visualizing this billion word as apple and pencils, right? Okay. So now is the time for fraction. This is the fraction of 5th grade. And this question has been asked to a kindergarten student. What do you understand by 1/3? How many you will get if you add 1/3 and 1/3? They get confused. They don't understand. But if you give them the language, 1/3 plus 1/3, it makes, they will come up with the answer, ma'am, 2/3. Because here the 1/3 and 1/3, they are recapitulating as an apple, the language apple. Okay. But, and again, in the same way, if you teach them algebra, 7x squared plus 2x squared is equals to, they will give you the answer 9x squared, because they are comparing these variables with the language apple and pencil. But how far this language approach is applicable, and how far these are interesting to them if they have not encountered any complicated sums, right? So language approach is not at all suffice the requirement of a numeracy skill development. We need something. What does we need along with this language approach? Any idea? Where is the problem? If you can see these 6 examples, they all are very well explained to the child, and they can learn billion, million, right? और आप ये जानते भी होंगे कि if you ask a child the counting from 1 to 100, बहुत ही easily the kindergarten child will tell you the sequence of forward counting and backward counting from 1 to 100. Even they can count till 1,000. Right? Because we have taught them through language approach, right? So it's easier for them to just repeat and memorize the thing, but they are not able to give you the reasoning part of that. Why they should count 3 after 2? Why they need to write 10 with 2 digits? They don't have any reasoning for that, right? Why they don't have the reasoning? Because as we know, the language needs a systematic synthetic phonic approach to decode the language. As same thing happened with the mathematics. Along with the language approach, we need something which will give them an idea, a clear visual. Okay. Now again, I'm taking one example of language approach. Can you just tell me how you can understand, and what do you understand from this sentence? Understand a fraction, and this question is for 5th grade. Okay. Understand a fraction 1 by b as the quantity formed by one part when a whole is divided into b equal parts. Understand a fraction a by b as the quantity formed by a part of size 1 by b. Can you get that? This question was asked for a 5th grade students, and the expression is like that. Huh? What is this? The complicated language, right? When it was simple language, it was easy to add. But when the language complicates, it's not easy to understand a mathematical expression or the mathematical problem. So anyone has the any explanation how you are going to explain this to a 5th grade student? Is there any way? Confusing? Yes. Yeah. Do you have any strategy where you can teach, or you can make the child understand about this language of mathematics? I'm waiting for the reply. See, the students are also have joined. They can also add on their comments in the section chat section, right? Maybe the children are more curious, they are more like explorer than us, because what we think, okay, pictorial representation can help them to understand. Yeah, correct. Half, okay. Through shapes. I like that answer, right? By making a drawing and dividing into number of equal parts. But what will you do of this letter B and A? Giving examples of many shapes, okay. One is a part of whole B, okay, right? Concrete example. Yes, that's what I was waiting for the answer. Because the child needs a concrete object to experience this abstract number, right? They need a concrete thing to touch and feel, right? Okay. Before I start my, I'll show one video to you. I'm just asking you. I think so. I missed one video. Just a second. Yeah. I hope everyone is able to see. And just give me a thumbs up if you are able to hear the sound as well. Are you able to hear the sound? Yes.
Singapore tops international leaderboards when it comes to learning.
So I'm here in a Singaporean tuition class and I'm about to find out whether I'm smarter than a 9-year-old Singaporean student. I can tell you I am not confident at all.
Okay, so 3/5 is the same as how many then?
This question would have many Australian adults scratching their heads, but for these Year 3 students, it's child's play.
Ready, set, go.
Finish.
Done.
Done.
No.
You didn't draw them.
Yeah. I feel like I've missed a fundamental, something fundamental's missing, and mine doesn't have as many boxes as the other kids.
The approach these kids are using is called modelling, and it's just one of the unique methods of learning built into their curriculum.
I'm getting a little bit of a taste of just how competitive the Singaporean education system is. I'm falling way behind my peers, and the pressure is real.
So what did you heard the special word through this video? What a special thing they do to acquire this numeracy skills so faster and so accurate? Yeah. Can I get the answer? Modeling. What kind of modeling they're talking about? What they do with modeling? What is modeling exactly? Yeah. Their calculations are very fast. How they become the faster in the calculation part, the mental calculation, what you say, right? Drawing boxes, drawing shapes to get the answer. Okay, what kind of shapes? Is there any particular shape that we model in understanding the comprehension part of the questions? Is there? Yeah, bars and circles. Okay, okay. So I just want to know about this. Can you tell me what do you understand, or what do you notice from this picture? A shape that is easy for a child to understand, correct? Okay. Game, circle, a grid. Okay, what is this? What number it is? It is 10 frame. Okay, the representation of 12, do you think it's correct? Is it correct? No. So what is the correct representation of 12 would be on 10th frame? Somebody has told me that it's a 10 frame, and she's or he's very much correct that it is a 10 frame, and the representation of 12 is something not correctly done. Why? Because here the 1 is not just the 1, it's a 10. 1 bundle of 10 units. So to represent this 10 units, the child or anyone needs to show how many counters they should fill this 10 frame with, right? Okay. So do you think this is a correct representation of 12? Yes, because here the child is able to count all the parts of this 12 number, right? Okay, now can you please tell me, these are the misconception, right? So now can you tell me what this number looks like 5208? What is it? What is it? 5208. Do you get any picturization in your brain if I tell you that 5208? If I say Taj Mahal, you will get a clear picture of Taj Mahal. If I say an apple, you'll get a clear picture and you can experience the taste, the color, the shape, the size of that apple. But if I say only 5208, what? Place value, 4-digit number, okay, 4-digit number, just 4 individual numbers of the digit you can say, and 4-digit place value, numeral, yes, it's a numeral, 528. Yes, this misconception can be in can be seen in the children. If you ask to write 528, they may write 5208, or if you want ask them to write 5208, those in expanded form, they might expand 5, 20 and 8, right? So these are the pictures of arrow cards where the child has been asked to show the expanded form of 5208. But do you think it's an expanded form? Is it an expanded form? No. No, because they had this understanding that 4-digit number should come in 4. So I just write 5208, whether I'm not bothering about the place value, right? So instead of showing the expanded form of 5208, the child is showing the contraction part of that number, which is not at all correct representation. Because if I have been asked the place value of 5 in this number, I should not write the whole number. Instead of just, I need to write the 5000, the value. And children get confused every now and then with the place and the place value. What is the place of 2 in this number? It's 100. It's not 200, right? What is the place value of 8 here? It's 8, right? Okay. The next, what do you think? What is it? Which number the child wants to show? Yeah. 5,208 is in a standard form to write a 4-digit number, right? Okay, 2009. What does this mean? 209? 209. Yes, the child was asked to write 209 in expanded form. So, do you think he has written correctly? No, because this green arrow card meant for the unit digit only. It's not the 100 digit. So the child need to pick a card which show 200, not the 00. Okay, or 2000. So that child need to show a 2000 arrow card, not the unit card. This is a unit card. This represent only the place is once and the value is 2. So these are the misconception that arises as we grow and we step to the new classes, and the child gets more complicated questions in mathematics. When it is about addition, subtraction, it's very easy for them, right? Okay. We have already seen this. Now, what is CP approach? So Singapore approach is, what is a Singapore approach? Singapore mathematic approach is that whatever the abstract thing we see around us, it is being like, it has some concrete objects to show, but how to represent that? There is a disconnection between this concrete object that we talk about, students' books, right? So if I talk about a book, I have one book, one shape card, one mobile, and one ice cream stick. Okay, So how many things do I have? How I'm going to represent in abstract number? So it's very easy to understand. This is your concrete object and abstract is 4, but there is something gap between it. We need some bridge to fill this gap. It's not easy for the child to fill this gap. Maybe it's easier for us because we are grown up. We know that whatever thing we are counting, whether it's big or small, all are countable and they come up in a confined form. But for the child is not like easy to understand कि ये चार चीजें different चीजें, right? I'm counting one diary, one stick, one shape card, and one mobile, and all different things, how they are coming together to become a 4 number, right? So they are not able to understand. To fill this bridge, we need something. We need some bridge kind of thing which can connect this concrete concept with this abstract thing. And that's what pictorial, the visuals, the representation, whether it's a bar model or the your number bond or Dean's block, whatever manipulative we use as a concrete object, to representation of those concrete objects fill this gap and give them a clear idea about this abstract numbers, right? And that's what Singapore says, right? Okay, so this is concrete and this is the pictorial representation. Now I have a question over here. Pictorial representation means what? We need to replicate the same model what we have shown the children as a manipulative, or they are free to show any representation. Yeah, pictorial method. They need to draw. But what kind of drawing you are expecting from the child? I want free drawing, right? Suppose if they want to represent this Dean's block as a stick, they are free to draw, right? And this ones as a circle, they're free to draw. If they want to show in picture, like they want to show with a stick or any lollipops, if they are combining 10 lollipops in a bunch and showing 10 lollipops, they're free. If their concepts are clear and they are aware of that when they need to count big numbers, they need to make a 10, a group of 10. So if they are drawing, if they are representing well and accurate with the concrete objects, it's acceptable, right? Don't expect an artistic drawing from the children. Okay. Now CPA approach. This is one rectangular representation or the area representation of a multiplication. Can anyone tell me what exactly this you understand about? With their own thinking. Yes, this is a representation of a multiplication through area model. Anyone? 13 into 24. Okay. Can you please represent this area model through picture, any pictorial representation? If you know the pictorial representation, kindly draw it and show in front of your camera. I'll be able to see you, so that each of you can see. Anyone would like to show the representation of this area model of multiplication 24 and 13? I can see Yashali, right? Bhatnagar. Can you please show the representation of this multiplication? This is 100 blocks, the block of 100 squares, 100 units, this blue one, and these yellow ones are the tower of 10, and this green blocks represent the unit blocks. Yashali Bhatnagar, can you please show me the representation or the pictorial representation of this? Yes, anyone? Should we? I'm waiting because your videos are on, so I can request you all to show, or anyone else who wants to show the representation of this area model for the multiplication of 24 multiplied by 13. how you're going to represent. Yeah. Okay, now if you have drawn your model, I'm just showing the example. Just check whether your answer is like matching with my design or not, like representation. Is it correct that you have drawn? क्या आपके मॉडल से मेरा मॉडल मैच कर रहा है? Do you get the same kind of rectangle? Right? See, this 200 is a representation of this 200 blocks, and this 40 represent this 4 towers of 10, and this 60 shows the 6 towers of 10. Okay, and this 12 represent the 12 unit blocks. Okay. Yes, it's matching. Good. Okay, now do you find any difference in the calculation, this abstract calculation that we have been doing when we were a child, and we teach our children, still we are teaching our children? This look different or the same? Before you just tell me the differences, I would like to share my experience. जब मैं छोटी बच्ची थी, नहीं बड़ी शरारत नहीं करती थी, but really I was thinking कि 3 and 4, when we use a plus sign, it's 7. But जैसे ही उस plus sign को, if I make a cross, how it gives you answer 12? 3 4s are 12 कैसे? I was unable to understand कि same number है, जब हम इसको plus करते हैं, it gives you 7. लेकिन जैसे ही उसको हम तिरछा कर देते हैं या टेढ़ा कर देते हैं, क्रॉस कर देते हैं, it gives you 12. How come? ये मेरे दिमाग में बहुत चलता था, right? I used to think a lot. लेकिन whenever I go to my teacher and ask the question कि मैम ऐसा क्यों है, do you know what answer I used to get? ऐसा ही होता है, जैसे बोला है उसे सीख जाओ, that's it. They don't have any reason to give, right? But आज के बच्चे ऐसे ही आपकी किसी भी बात को नहीं मानेंगे. They want a proof, the evidence, the reasoning behind your statement, right? So आपको what exactly the difference you can identify with the traditional method of multiplication and there's a Singaporean mathematician calculation. क्या different है? Addition and okay. I'm getting answer. Abstract look tedious. Okay. No, number of times a number used repeatedly, partial products, faster calculation than multiply. Okay. 211. Yes. Okay. See, when I was a child, I don't know about you, but I have experience in schools at present also, that when we, as a teacher, we teach the students to multiply 3 4s are 12, we say this, but when we multiply this two numbers with this 3 and 2, we say 3 2s are, but this is not actually it's 2, it's 20, right? It's 20. So when we multiply 3 with 20, we get 60, not 6. This is the confusion that the children have, right? And then when we move towards the next line, we have 1 4s are 4, we say, but it's not exactly is 1. This is 10, isn't it? It's 10. 10 4s are 40. And this is not 1, this is not 2, this is 10 and this is 20. Then 10 and 20 makes 200. So after you get the multiplication right, then you have to add. You know, जब हम multiply करते थे, we were told that जब first line complete हो जाए, you need to put a 0 on the next. 0 क्यों लगाना है? There is no reason. नहीं आपको लगाना है. If you have 2 digits to multiply, you need to make add 1 0. And if you have 3 digits to multiply, then you have to add 2 zeros. As you step down, you need to increase the number of zeros. But why? This has been not told by our teacher. Right? And जब तक हम बच्चों को place value correctly नहीं बताएंगे class में, they will get a confusion. They will get confused every now and then. कि अभी मैम ने बोला this is 24, this is 20, this is 4. When I'm multiplying, why ma'am is telling me that multiply 3 with this 2? Why? So be like the miseducation in mathematics is very common, which is hardly identified, right? So it is it's a time that we should understand whatever the concept we are teaching the child, we are giving them them, it should be a clear and properly explained, and the child should have the reason and they should have the scope to question you, right? They should have the opportunity to question you. And how you're going to achieve that a perfect mathematical skill development among the children, it's use lot of manipulative of the concrete object, right? So you have to have manipulative kit ready with you when you are teaching your own child or your students. You should use a lot of manipulative. It's not that all the tens frame or the Dean's block you need to have. You can make the 10 frame at home. Just draw 10 boxes and use the your rajma beans or any concrete object that gives them an idea exactly what numbers are. If I give you an example of this 10th frame, what you can derive from this 10 frame? आप इससे क्या समझते हो? What do you understand? There are 10 counters. Yes, you are correct. There are 10 counters. Yes. I'm getting a reply from Kalpana that when we are multiplying with the digit in 10th place, start writing answer also from the 10th place. Right, correct. That whatever the multiplication we are doing, we should like consider that place value as well. Okay. Now, can you please tell me what exactly it's 4? 4 out of 10. Is it so? Is it so? The all 10 counters are intact in this 10th frame. What is it? What do you understand? Yes, I got a correct answer from Sarthya. That is 6 plus 4. Yeah, it's a combination of 6 plus 4, which makes 10. Okay. Right. 6 plus 4 or 4 plus 6. No, it's not at all a 46 or 64. No, it's a 10 block, a block of 10 counters which make 10. And through this 10 counters, the child can easily understand what is 10 and how you can form 10 using the different combinations, right? What are the different combinations you can make with a given number? आपको कोई भी एक number दिया गया है. Suppose I have given you 10. So how many number bonds or number combination you can create with 10? 10 minus 4. Yes. 10 minus 4, you get 6. 10 minus 6, you get 4. Yes. 7 plus 3, correct. If you replace this blue with red, you will get 7 plus 3, correct. So this way you can have a number talk with your child. You can have a communication about a number with your child so that they can have a clear idea about 10. 10 hai kya? And why do we use 2 digits to write this 10? Yes, I absolutely correct, Chandini, that it's 8 and 2 makes 10. And how many? So now my question is that how many number bonds or the number combinations you can create for this 10? कितने number bonds and number combinations बन सकते हैं? Is there any formula or is there any number that is fixed for a given digit? Yes. Can you? I'm just giving you 1 minute or 30 seconds. Just tell me what are the different. How many number bonds you can create with 9 and 1? These are the numbers that you are giving me the combinations, but I want a number of bonds. Number of combinations kitne honge? 5 number bonds? No. 11. Yes, correct. Kavita ma'am. Yes, Kavita ma'am, you are right. Then when we are getting the combination for 10, we have 11, one more than it, because we have to add 0 as well. 10 plus 0 is also makes the 10. Okay. Okay. So CPA approach is like we have understood that CPA should be there. First, we need to have the concrete object, then bridging that concrete object with the representation, and then move towards the abstract numbers. But abstract number भी बच्चे को लिखना आ गया, उसके बाद क्या? What do you want from the child? सिर्फ पढ़ के वहीं छोड़ देना और apply also. We need an application of that numbers also. They should know how to use, how to deal, how to play with those numbers that they have understood, right? So concrete, pictorial, abstract, and then comes application. CPAA approach, right? Without application, this is not going to give you a 100% result, right? So application, where they can use, you can ask to form a pattern, you can ask them to deal with the money, or you can ask them to count, or like place the things in their house, at their house, or in their cupboard, how many colors of t-shirt they have. They need to understand, okay, these numbers I can use to count my dress. I can use this number to compare my age with my sibling or my parents. So these numbers are can be used in my real situations as well, right? Okay. So you will find in books also this kind of application where child is like they are encouraged or motivated to use those abstract things in their real life situations through this pictorial representation as well as the thinking strategy, right? Critical thinking type of questions has been designed so that they will think critically. Okay, I was told that 1 dot is less than 2 dots. How many dots? Then they have to identify 1 dot, 2 dot. This is the book for the kindergarten. This is for grade 1 and this is for 3rd grade. Okay. Okay. Now again, I have a question for you. Okay. Ashi has 3 times as many keychains as Rabia. Jennifer had 15 less keychains than Ashi. If the 3 children had a total of 195 keychains, how many keychains did Ashi have? This is the question from grade 3. Yeah. This is a one of the problem solving question where child need to apply their knowledge of addition, subtraction, okay, and to get the answer, they need to draw some bar models. Can you teach this sum without using any variables? Because this is the fundamental part of any algebraic sum or the calculus even, right? This is the foundation level, you can say. So without using any variables like x, y, a, b, can you solve, can you explain the child how they are going to get the answer? I know the answer is 30. Can you please represent that, Rishika ma'am? I'm really amazed to see your answer 30. How many keychains did Ashi have? Is it 30? Are you sure 30 is the correct answer? Yeah? Can you show me the representation? Just calculate it and just display in front of your camera. 90, Sonali, Disha, Bhavna, Sonakshi, all of you are giving the 90. But how did you come to the answer? Because see, we are not running after the answer. I want the reason. Answer तो हम कैसे भी ले आएंगे, and I'll show you one video about it. जब answer आपके पास होता है तो it's very easy to calculate, manipulate your sums and get the answer. But we are not after the product. We are after the after to know the process. How did you get that answer, and how you're going to explain a 9 years old child. आप एक 9 साल के बच्चे को कैसे समझाओगे और आप कैसे you are going to process. Again, I'm getting an answer for Anshita. Please do not use any variables. Bimmi Jain, please do not use any variables because in grade 3 there is no algebra or algebraic expression. So we need to explain them using whatever strategy you want except algebra. 108, Naina, but whatever the answer you are giving me, can you please show me your calculation of the process you have created or you have done? Yeah, 136. Okay, so it's become very easy, as I already have shown you the video where the children were using the bar model or the math model to solve the problems, right? So whenever this kind of questions arises, and if the child has been given the opportunity from the early age to use the models the way we use in kindergarten, this is what we have called this number rod, right? From very early, the child is able to give you the answer, what exactly the 10 will if you add 7 and what is the rest answer would be, right? From early age. And the bar model is the representation of these rods and this number rods. So I'm just going to give you the answer using blocks. So can you please show me the block representation? I want to see. Manasa ma'am. Falguni ma'am told me that the answer is 70, but how come you got the answer? I would love to see the representation. Many of you are giving me the pictorial representation as well as an answer, but I want to see this. Can you please, Divyang sir, can you just tell me anyone is showing the thing, because I'm not able to see each and every one. I can see one of you are showing Meena. I'm not able to see it clearly. What? Yeah. I'm not able to see. Can Divyang sir, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I'm here.
Yeah,
Yes.
195 plus 15 is equals to 210 divided by 3 into, what is this, 70? The 70 is answer. Is it so? Is it so? But see, देखिए मैं तो भाई बहुत ही मतलब बोलते हैं ना कि मेरा दिमाग इतना sharp नहीं है. Really, I'm very much lame man, you can say. I can understand these numbers. मुझे कुछ ऐसे समझाइए जो मुझे समझ में आ जाए. Because children are not aware. They will ask, ना मैम आपने 210 कैसे लाए? आप how did you add this 195 15 को क्यों add किया? What is the reason behind it? Right? So I can see hands also from Sunita. Can you show your representation? 90 is the answer. Now I should say that yes, the 90 is the correct answer, but how you're going to get it? And please, parents, you should also understand, you should also get in your mind that whenever you are going to solve a word problem or a language mathematics language, so you need to present some representation, the pictorial representation, so that the child can imagine, okay, this is the key chains. So what is the first step to do? Pehla step kya hai? First step, read the sentence. Ashi has 3 times as many keychains as Rabia. So whatever the information you are getting, first collect all those information and see how many characters are there. Yes, bang on, Taruna, right, bang on. Yes, please pat your back on behalf of me. Right. Okay, so whenever you are going to solve this problem solving kind of question, so you have to understand how many characters are there. First, you have to list down the characters, right? And then the first relation which this sum tells you, that Ashi has 3 times as many keychains as Rabia. So Rabia has 1 unit, so Ashi will have 3 units of that. And the next, Jennifer has how many? 15 more, 15 less, sorry, 15 less than the Ashi. So what part of Ashi has? Ashi has 3 blocks, so less than 15. And all these 3 characters have having in total 195 keychains, right? So these all blocks together makes 195. But Jennifer has less than 15, but we are not like sure कि इतना part ही 15 होगा. But as assumption, we have marked this block as 15. Okay, but what exactly it is? So how many blocks are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And if we add this 15, it becomes 210. Okay. Okay. So what is the number or the 1 unit represent? It's 30. So if 1 block represents 30, so how many these 3 blocks will represent what would be the number? It is 90, as simple as that. So this is the process, or you can say the representation that you should use to give them a clear idea, to represent this keychain in the terms of block or the bar models, right? And then it will be easier for them to write this calculation part or this addition, subtraction, or whatever operation you want them to do. They will do it clearly and instantly in a blink of eyes, right? Okay. So now I'm going to share about the 5 strategies. Okay. Before I start with 5 principles to teach maths, I would love to ask one question. How many of you think that people are born with math brain? कितने लोगों को ये लगता है कि जो लोग लाइक मैथ्स में एक्सपर्ट होते हैं, दे आर बोर्न इंटेलिजेंट, और वो मैथ्स वही कर सकता है जिसके पास ब्रेन होता है? हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू थिंक दैट? कितनों को लगता है? एवरीवन? ओह माय गॉड, आप सबको यही लगता है? हाँ, यस, एवरीवन, नॉट नेसेसरीली यस। कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि हर एक को इंटेलिजेंट होना ही है, देन ओनली दे कैन एक्सेल इन मैथ्स। Concept should be clear. It depends on the interest. Yes, interest है, but interest तभी आता है when you understand something well, right? What we use for our children, कि जैसे जैसे they grow, they step into grade 6, 7, 8, they lost interest in their mathematics. Why? Interest क्यों खो जाता है? Because they don't find any relation or any connection with the abstract numbers. जैसे जैसे complications बढ़ते हैं operations में, they don't find any connection, understanding, जिसकी वजह से उनकी इंटरेस्ट खत्म हो जाती है. So I can see most of us think that people who are good in math, they're born with the math mind, okay, math brain. But brain science has proved it wrong. Okay, it is just a misconception. अगर ऐसी ही बात होती तो just tell me how many of us are like born with physics brain or the history brain or the language brain? No, these are the subjects, and then we have to learn it. We have to practice it. So whatever the subject is, we have to practice and learn it. Similarly, math is also that kind of subject. Nobody born with the brain, with math brain, right? It's the practice and the calculations or the interest that brings you in this field, or you love mathematics. And once you are, you can identify or recognize the mathematics around you, you will find interest, and your brain will as soon, like it will also build up like that only. So what happened when you think, when you do mistakes in mathematics, your synapses, your neuron sparks brightly. Yeah, when you believe in yourself, when you think that yes, I can do it and this is not so hard, right? When you think that, your brain grows. This is the growth mindset, right? When there is a mistake, when there is a calculation, the problem solving process is happening in you, the brain is working. When you're just learning, just comprehend, just giving the answers, writing the answers for the science of the any other subject, it's not, the mind is working properly. Not properly, I should say. It should not as sparked as when you are doing the mathematics problems, right? So believe in yourself that yes, I can do it, and give this confidence to your children as well. You see, when you have a mistake, it's not the end of your process. It's not the failure. It's the starting of your new understanding, right? So the first thing is that believe in yourself. Okay. To start with a question, there is a question I asked a few of the teachers and I got this answer. Just can you tell me, what do you observe or what do you notice in these 3 cases? Yes, I understand, Daljit Kaur. Depends on the teacher, the way of teaching as well. Yes, and it's not just teacher, but the parents as well play an important role, right? Okay, increasing pattern. In what way the pattern is increasing? Pyramid pattern. I got a new term for it. Okay, depicting pattern, number pattern. So what is the number pattern you can observe? Block are increasing vertically as well as the horizontally. Yes. Wow. Increasing boxes, pyramid. So I'm getting a lot of different answers, right? Multiplying. Oh, yes. Symmetrical. Correct. Addition. Okay. So if you are telling me multiplication, it is definitely is a repeated addition, right? Exponents. But this question is for grade 5. So can you like is it they don't know about the exponents and all? They don't know. Grade 5, they don't have any exponents and radical. So boxes increasing in outer section. So I'm just rested to show you the different answers given by the other teachers as well. And you all have given me new answers. I'm going to definitely going to add in my next session if I have. So I'm just showing you. See, what is the response that I got from a teacher? That yes, it's a raindrop. The blocks are dropping down on the base, right? Okay. What is the next? Bowling alley method, right? See, the blocks are arranging from the bottom, right? Yes, it's increasing pattern, but how it is increasing? Somebody has told me that it's a pyramid, it's a symmetrical, it's a growing, it's symmetrical, right? So in this way, I have this answers from the different teachers that volcano method. It's just erupting from the middle. See, right? The Red Sea method, when the base are parting and filling from the middle, right? Similar triangles method, right? It's increasing triangles. So many kind of representation can be done. And somebody told that it's an increasing square method, right? You can see a square, the filling of the growing squares. Okay. So in this way, if you are teaching a child an exponent in elementary school, you will come up with the conclusion that this is number of cases plus 1 is square, right? And when the child comes with a question to you, ma'am, where this square is coming, then you are not having any answer if you have not done this activity or this question in this way, right? If you have not asked an open-ended question, you just ask a closed-ended question to the child, how many squares you can see. अगर आपने सिर्फ ये पूछा कि how many squares you can see in each design, so they will come up with the answers. Maybe if you put an answer question, how many blocks you will see when you have the case 1, 2, 3, when you have case 100. So they will calculate the number. But if you start any concept or any topic with an open-ended question, that brings life in your class and the child start thinking differently, right? Right? So first strategy is start with a question. Start with a question, and question should not be a close-ended. It should not related with a number. Now it's your time. Can you prepare or can you frame one question related to these pictures without using any number? Square of the number is equal to the sum of those many odd numbers. Correct. So can you frame a question? This question is for not just for teachers but parents as well. If you need to teach your child this increasing pattern, right? So what would be your first question? Please frame one question without using any number in it. Don't put question like how many squares you can see, which shape is bigger than this, and how many squares are more than this. Do not use any number. Just frame one question where you can get different answer. Make block pattern which depicts square. Let's move upstairs. Oh, yes, I'm using that. Ma'am, I cannot move upstairs. I would like to
I will have to climb down. What do you observe? Right. What number comes next in the pattern? Again, I'm telling you, don't use number, language, in words or in number. Do not use. What will be the next pattern? Yes. Letters that can be made using these blocks. Yes. Correct. What is happening in the picture? Very good question. Can you go up and down by using these boxes? Really? Put the blocks to make mountains. Okay. How to extend it? Okay. Which is the highest mountain? Again, you are giving them the comparison. Again, if you ask the highest mountain, they're going to compare it with the numbers and they'll come up with that. Only one answer you get, right? How can we make this pattern differently? If you add this question, how can you make this pattern differently? Then only they will think. Agar aapne unko bola, how can you make this pattern? Aapko similar kind of pattern milega with a increasing number of blocks, right? So if you want to have different answer, the open-ended question should be there. An open-ended question is what we get. You get different answer. Maybe the answer is wrong, but don't judge the answer at that moment. When you're getting the different answer, accept all the answers. And please, and the second strategy is, principle is that student needs time to struggle. Let them struggle, let them think. Don't jump up for the answer at once, right? So let me go to, I have shown these. And what is the third principle? Before I go to move towards the third principle, I would like to show you one video.
Mr. Landlord.
Yeah?
What are you smoking, an army blanket?
Never mind about that. You owe me room rent.
All right, here's $28.
$28, fine. Just a minute. You owe me 13 weeks at $7 a week, and that happens to be a lot more than $28.
Well, that comes to $28.
Did you go to school?
Yes, sir.
Do you mean to say that you can prove that 7 times 13 is 28?
Well, it's got to be. Certainly it is, because Mr. Rabbit and I, that's $28. That's what you get.
If you can prove it, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will give you the room rent for nothing.
You will?
But if you don't prove it, you owe me double the back rent. Is it a deal?
That's a deal.
Okay.
You happen to have any Crayola on there?
Crayola?
Never mind. I got it.
Oh, you have?
I got the Crayola. 7 into 28 is going to come out 13.
That's your way.
That's my way. And it's got to come out right. Now, first, I put down a 7.
Right.
Now, I'm going to divide the 7 into 28.
Yeah.
I put a 28 there.
Okay.
Isn't that cute? Now, here we go. 7 into... Mr. Landlord.
Yeah?
What are you smoking, an army blanket?
Never mind about that. You owe me... That happens to be a lot more than $28.
Well, that comes to $28.
Did you go to school?
Yes, sir.
Do you mean to say that you can prove that 7 times 13 is 28?
Well, it's got to be. Certainly it is, because Mr. Rabbit and I, that's $28. That's what you get.
If you can prove it, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will give you the room rent for nothing.
You will?
But if you don't prove it, you owe me double the back rent. Is it a deal?
That's a deal.
Okay.
You happen to have any Crayola on there?
Crayola?
Never mind. I got it.
Oh, you have?
I got the Crayola. 7 into 28 is going to come out 13.
That's your way.
That's my way. And it's got to come out right. Now, first, I put down a 7.
Right.
Now, I'm going to divide the 7 into 28.
Yeah.
I put a 28 there.
Okay.
Isn't that cute? Now, here we go. 7 into 2. 7 will not go into 2.
It will not.
That's a very big 7 to push into that little bit of 2.
As you say it is.
We ain't going to hurt that little 2, are we?
Of course you won't.
So we take the 2. Open your hand.
Yes.
And I put that 2 right there for safekeeping. But don't drop it and don't lose it. Now, 7 into 8.
Once.
Once. I put the 1 over here, 1 over there. Now, we're going to carry the 7 because it's very big and it's getting heavy on my shoulders, and I'm going to drop the 7 under there. Now, 7 from 8
is 1.
Is 1. I put the 1 down there.
Mm-hmm.
Now it comes. Would you mind opening up your palm of your hand, please? Or would you like to use that 2? Open it up. Give me that 2. You've had it long enough. I'm going to put that 2 right there. Now, 7 into 21.
3 times.
That's right. 7 into 28. 13.
Good enough? Wait a minute. You have to prove this even better than that. You can prove it very easily by multiplication.
You mean you want me to multiply it?
No, not multiply, multiply.
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 All right. Multiply it.
7 times 13
is
prove
28.
it. Go ahead.
Now, first, we got to put down a 13, right?
Right.
There's a 13.
Times 7.
Times 7.
Right.
7 weeks times 13. Right? 7 times 3.
21.
21. 7 times 1.
7.
7. 7 and 1.
8.
And 2 to carry. 28. Wait this out.
Now, wait a minute. I'm still not convinced. There's one sure way of proving this. One sure way, and that's by addition.
You want me to addition it up?
I want you to put 13 7 times on that wall and then draw a line and add them up.
You want me to put down 13 7 times?
That's right.
That's got to come out right. There's 1,
1,
2,
2,
3,
3,
4,
4,
5,
5,
6,
6,
7.
Wait a minute. What's the idea of spreading them out like that?
Well, it looks like a flock of seagulls going to hit the electric poles. Now we're going to add them up, right?
All right, go ahead.
Here we go. 3, 6,
Wait a
9.
minute. Let me do the adding this time.
Good. Come out right.
Wait
A 3, a 6, a 9.
Just a minute. I will do the adding. Then there'll be no mistake.
Yeah?
All right? $28 easy. All right?
Sure.
Now.
Go ahead. If you had it up, go ahead.
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21.
22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28.
So what did you understood from this video? What exactly I want to say to you? You are not the answer key. Do not share the answer with your child, because children are very much smarter than we think, right? They can come up with the answers in any strategy they're going to use, whether it's correct or not, right? So please do not share the answer and do not become the answer key for them, right? So I'm just giving you one question from to observe this pattern and tell me what exactly you can understand from this pattern. I'm not going to give you the answer, please, right? It happens most of the time, or sometime, that as a teacher or as a parent, we also don't have the answer for the students' curiosity, and we think that, okay, if we are not able to give the answer, so we are not going to help our children. No, it's not that. Yes, this scene, that situation is very critical and very threatening to us. कि अगर बच्चा हमारे पास कुछ क्वेश्चन लेकर आ रहा है, नहीं, we don't know about the answer, but it's okay. It's okay. Not knowing is not the failure. So you can say that, okay, let's find out the answer. I don't know the answer, but let's find out together. It's not wrong, right? But if you practice giving answer, like if you give them answer every now and then, okay, 3 बार कोशिश कर ली, and after that they will not try again. They will come understand कि मैम को तो आंसर पता है, मम्मी को तो आंसर पता है, पापा को तो आंसर पता है. They will give me the answer. So why to focus? Why to practice? Why to try? They will not give a try. So please make sure that you are not the answer key. Think in yourself, and just when they come up with the answers, let them reasoning themselves, and do not give them the correct answer until and unless you are satisfied with their reasonings, right? So can you just tell me what kind of pattern you can observe, you can see or notice in this picture? This is a 100 grade addition, is it so? Yeah, see, when you are having a VTS session, that visual thinking strategy skill, or that what I'm doing right now, so whatever the answer is coming, accept as it is, do not comment that it's a wrong or right, because everybody has their own perception to think, to watch or to see a picture, right? Okay, multiples of number, prime and composite numbers, okay, it's a number grid, correct. Skip counting of 5s and 10s, prime number. But what makes you to say that is a skip counting? What exactly you have observed in this grid that makes you to say that it's an odd and even number? Right? What similarity you observed? 1 is odd, 2 is even. This is everywhere you will get it in a number grid. But what makes you to say that? Skip counting hai, ya fir aap ye odd and even hai, aapko kya? What hint you get it? Sieve method, number grid for calculations, multiply, okay, color pattern, okay. If I see the color pattern, see 8, 6, 4, 2, all these are what? Even number. Again, 38 is also even number, but I'm not getting the similar kind of pattern in color as well. No, we're not getting it. Okay, if you say that 39 is an odd number, 29 is an odd number, 19 is odd number, yes, I accept that. But I'm not getting any clarity about that. Yes, these are odd numbers. That's why these numbers have been colored with these colors. No, I'm not getting any clue. Or if you say that skip counting, see 2, 4, 6, again 6 have different color. So think. I'm not going to give you the answer. Sorry, I'm not the answer key. Okay, say yes to your students' ideas. So whatever you are replying, I'm saying yes to your answer, but same time, I'm asking, give a reason for your answer. Give a support your answer with a reason, right? What exactly you think that this is the pattern we are following in this number grid, right? Okay. And the last one is play. Okay. So play, what is play? If 2 plus 2 is 12, if the child is coming with the question that 2 plus 2 is 12, so what would be your reaction? How are you going to react? Aap kya bologe? No? Yeah, I can understand, Preeti Goyal ma'am, that it's combinations of prime, composite number, multiples. Yes, agar aap 1 se leke 10th grid number ke grid mein dekhoge, to you will find each and every concept. But is grid mein kya tha? I was just curious to know. Okay, there is a small number written under number. It's twice of that number. Okay. Okay, let's do it. Can you please tell me multiple of 3? Okay. Now my question is that I'm playing with this number. Multiple of number. अगर मेरा क्वेश्चन ये है कि अगर एक बच्चा आप, if you have asked one question that 2 plus 2, what is the answer? If the child is coming with the answer that 2 plus 2 makes 12. So what would be your reaction? What would be your reply to that child? 2 10s and 2 1s is 12. Okay, that is the reason you are giving me. अगर इस बच्चे ने 2 plus 2 12 बोला है, तो you are giving me the reason. But I am asking, what would be your reply? Ask child to, yes, correct. Correct. Vinita, yes. Ask the child to prove it. अगर आप कहते हो कि 2 plus 2 12 होता है, just prove it. Just give me your reason, right? Yes. Okay. So then 2 plus 1 is equals to 11, right? That one of the child is giving this answer. Okay. See, I'm proving. अगर मैं 2 plus 2 12 है, then 2 plus 1 equals to 11, 2 plus 0 equals to 10, 1 is equals to 9, and 0 is equals to 8. So once you just give the 0 equals to 8, you get the 10, 2 plus. And again, if you replace the 9, you get 11. So this is what they give, but this is not possible, isn't it? In number line, we never come back after counting 8 to 0. No, we never have, right? It goes to infinity. The counting goes to infinity. We can never have 0 equals to 8 until we have a number circle, right? And this is what an invention in mathematics, which is which has been used in computer science as well. So see, आज तक अभी so many years have passed, right? But we have not a single laureate in our mathematics field. Why? Because we don't give chance to the children to think critically, to come up with the new ideas, or we are not appreciating any ideas. We are not giving them opportunity to think critically, right? That's what the reason. We should not give these numbers to the child as a laws, as a formula to mug up, but make them to understand that it's a play. Let's play with the numbers. Right? Just find out what exactly we can write from this formula, how it is going to happen, right? So so for that, you can go through the software. Different software are available, and the simulation are also available, where you can give the child the opportunity to play, to understand the maths, to understand the number, how they can play. And we have this we have a lot of mobile games. We give the child to mobile to play when we are busy with our work. We want the child to engage with the play game, mobile game, to try to give them the games which are related to mathematics, which will give them the, like, they will assess their own understanding themselves, right? These are called the gamified assessment via mobile app. So you can give them the puzzle, you can ask them to solve or play a dice game where they can assess their understanding about addition, subtraction, number bond, or the bar model, whatever, right? So if the child has been given opportunity to learn mathematics through the CPA approach and the bar bond, the reaction or the result in the classroom, you will see like this.
But we keep talking, can't stop, won't stop solving. It's like something is growing in our minds every time we try again. Cause the haters gonna hate. We will make mistakes, but we're just gonna shake. Shake it off. Our method's gonna break. It's not a piece of cake. But we're just gonna shake. Shake it off. We represent things visually. Present them to our class clearly, so that they can see. So that they can see. We know our brains can grow. Who cares how fast we go? Understanding's what we show. Understanding's what we show. So we keep trying. Synapses are firing. This problem's so exciting. It's so cool that I want to go and show the world.
Yes, इस वीडियो को देखने के बाद I remember yesterday's event, like incident. Last night I was preparing my presentation. I was like searching the like some puzzles, and I land up on this 2 + 2 = 12, right? And that time my daughter came. She is in grade 7, and she asked me, "Mama, what are you doing?" And I said, "I'm just searching out this some puzzles for the tomorrow's webinar." So she told, "Mama, I have a question." I said, what question you have? So she told me कि मम्मा मैथ्स की टीचर क्यों कहती है हमें कि बेटा आप लोग स्माइल किया करो. मैम, मम्मा, इज इट अ क्लास वेयर वी शुड स्माइल? हमारी डांस क्लास तो मैथ्स टीचर ले लेती है, हमारी स्पोर्ट्स क्लास तो मैथ्स टीचर ले लेती है, एंड देन शी एक्सपेक्ट अस टू स्माइल. कैसे स्माइल करें मैथ्स पीरियड पे, राइट? So in that moment I asked her, can you please solve this question? I'm not able to find it the answer 2 + 12. So she also got puzzled, but she was trying, and she was telling me, "Mama, ये possible नहीं है, आप गलत कर रहे हो, you are wrong." When I explained that this is a kind of invention that had been made, and in this way you can prove that 2 + 2 = 14, 12. So there was a smile on her face, and she was like anxious, impatiently she went to her brother and told कि देखो मैंने क्या नई चीज ढूंढी, and she started smiling and told अगर मैम भी इस तरह से क्लास में कराए तो will smile ना, देखो अभी कैसे स्माइल आ गया. So it's proven कि जब बच्चे को आप कोई चैलेंज देते हो as per their level, their understanding, their interest, they will definitely come up with the smiling face in your boarding class as well, right? So or as an educator or the person, I also feel that जैसे ही हम grade 5 cross करते हैं as a teacher, we don't smile in the class. As a teacher, we don't smile. We think नहीं, बच्चे बहुत बड़े हो गए हैं, now we should not smile in the class. But it's not good, right? When you have a light atmosphere in the class, when you work with the student, work with the children as a team, as a group. It's not for the teachers only, it's for parents as well. आप बस एक इंस्ट्रक्टर की तरह बैठ के उसको होमवर्क कराने के लिए मत बैठो, क्लास वर्क कंप्लीट कराने के लिए मत बैठो, but work along with them, right? उनके साथ उनकी तरह सोचिए, and please feel their own pain as well as their maintain their dignity. Don't think कि तुझे कुछ नहीं आता, उसके बेटे को देख लो, उसकी बेटी को देख लो, वो कितना अच्छा जानते हैं. But no, it should not be there in your, like with your children, right? Okay. Now I would like to show you the mathematics curriculum framework. If you are choosing any book for your own child or for your school, so what kind of framework you should look into, right? So we follow that nowadays, as you have already come to know, that Singapore mathematics curriculum is much better, and it's proven that it is the correct way of teaching the numeracy skill among the children, whether they are small kids, the kindergarten or the elementary school. They will definitely understand and excel in mathematics if you follow this curriculum framework, right? So whatever the mathematics concept we follow or we teach to children, we want them to solve the problems, right? So how it's going to happen? The concept, what are the basic concept that we focus, right, throughout the year? That is numericals, the numbers, the algebraic expressions, the geometric shape, the statistical representation, and probabilistic and analytical questions, right? So, and after focusing on these concepts, what are the skills that they need to acquire, right? So numerical calculation, they should understand how to calculate, right? Algebraic manipulation, how to manipulate the number to get an expressions equal, lies or prove, right? Spatial visualization and data analysis, measurement, use of mathematical tools, and estimation is the most important part. They should have this estimation, and we should include the estimation part as a civilizing element tool in the pre-primary as well, right? And what are the attitude that they should grow with? The beliefs, the interest, the appreciation, and the perseverance, right? It should be there. And the metacognition development should be focused, right? And what are the process? The reasoning. You should communicate a lot using the numbers, and the connection. You should give a connection to these abstract number to the real situations. You should give them the connection with the other subject as well. It means this maths cannot be taught alone, right, or any other subject. And math has the connection with each and every subject. You should give them the connections, applications, and they should know how to apply those rules, those numbers, abstract numbers in their daily life. And modeling, whatever the concept, whatever the topic, and what are the numbers they have been told, the problems, they should be able to model those things into the pictorial representation. And the thinking skills should be developed, and heuristics. Okay, so I'm just giving you one example how you can find these frameworks in a curriculum. So first of all, this is one of the first page where the concept of number, the recapitulation of the number 10 is being focused, where the VTS happening and the metacognition development has been inculcated, or you can say encouraged, right? Where the child is connecting the numbers with their own life. When we introduce a story with a character, the children find the connection, right? This Kiki is a girl, okay, she has she's helping her friend to count his toys. Okay, I'm also having some toy, I'll ask my friend to count, right? So they get a connection with it, right? Okay, now Kid Buddy is the part where whatever the concept we have taught them, they need to feel, they need to connect with the real object. So Kid Buddy is the part where child is given opportunity to deal with the concrete object. And the next, the quick check, where these concrete objects, when they are handling, they are doing with manipulative, when they are they have been introduced through the pictorial representation, they are able to bridging this concrete object to the pictorial representation, and then they are able to solve the abstract numbers easily. So this is the flow of a curriculum that follows the Singapore framework, and it should be there. But while choosing any book, you should see all these components to enhance their numeracy skill, right? And see, I told you that you should give them a connection, right? A connection. How are you going to give the connection? See, here the number bond is being introduced, integrated with the English, the language link, where child can identify, okay, number bond works in the word as well. They can break their own name into two different parts, and three different parts. This is what we call the part and whole concept, right? And again, they can use the numbers. It is a tradition game that we always play, but nowadays we have forgotten the snake and ladder game. But it is a resource, a rich source to understand the counting in sequence in different way, in a snake way, or the from up to down, down to up, right? So these are the applications which is most important. Once you have done with the conceptualization, the concrete object thing, and then pictorial representation and abstract, then you have to have the application at the end, right? Okay, now here I come at the end, and now I would like to know the answer. How many of you have come to the answer? What is the Cheryl's birthday? Anyone? Yeah, Divyang sir, can you just tell me how many of them have answered?
Ma'am, we had two answers from, in the beginning. One was August 15 and the next one was August 14.
Okay. Anyone else who would like to try? I'm just giving you 1 minute, one more minute to you all. Just give me the answer. What is Cheryl's birthday? I think one of 15 August. Again, I got a 15 August. Clues. Clues are the sentences like the statement or the dialogues told, spoken by those characters, Abu and Bina. Show the complete questions once again. 15th August, 16 July, 17th August. Sonia told us that it's 16 July. Question, please. Question is that when is Cheryl's birthday? She told the month to Abu and day to his friend, her friend Bina, right? In first sentence, Abu told that I don't know that Cheryl's birthday, as well Bina also don't know, doesn't know. Okay, so in next sentence, Bina says, I previously I don't know that like birthday, but I also know that Bina Abu also doesn't know. In third, Abu says that I know the answer. I didn't know previously, but now I know the answer. So what is the Cheryl's birthday? एक को डेट पता है, एक को मंथ पता है, ठीक है? दोनों में से किसी को भी शेरिल ने अपना बर्थडे नहीं बताया. सो कैसे ये दोनों आपस में पता करेंगे कि उसका बर्थडे कब है? Shall I give you the answer? Okay. Cheryl tells the month to Abu and the day to Bina. Abu says, I don't know the birthday, but I know Bina doesn't know either. Sorry for the mistake in English, the spelling, either. ठीक है? What Abu says कि मुझे तो birthday नहीं पता था, but Bina को भी नहीं पता है. So Bina has set some number, some date, okay, which is not matching with the Abu's month. What Cheryl has told Abu about the month. अगर उसने 19 बोला होगा, so 19 तो नहीं होगा, because Abu knows that it is not May, right? So that's why Abu says, I don't know the birthday, but मुझे पता है कि Bina को भी नहीं पता है, because she is telling wrong date. If she is telling 19, so 19 falls on May 16, May 15. So May तो होगा ही नहीं, because Abu knows the month, right? So next, Bina then says, I didn't know at first. मुझे पहले नहीं पता था, but now I do know. So अब Abu ने उसको कोई month बोला होगा, right? Suppose Abu told 14, but she knows that 14 is not the date that Cheryl shared with her. So 14 July, and again 14 is not the correct answer. The 14 August also went off. So what is the answer? The Abu then says, now I also know Cheryl's birthday. So when is Cheryl's birthday? It's 16 July. I got one correct answer. I forgot the name. But I got the one answer 16 July. Right. Can you share the mobile link for the mobile game so that if anybody wants to download that mobile app and want to share with their students or the children, they can?
Surely. I'll just copy paste the link of the mobile apps on the chat box. So it's a request, please don't put in messages so that you can get the link. So I've copy pasted the link on the WhatsApp.
Okay, I got a question that how to explain or how to share the tens and ones concept with the kindergarten students, right? As you have, as we all are aware of this thing that when we introduce a number to the nursery class, we introduce with 5 numbers first. We take 5 numbers. I'm not having the, just a second. So how to introduce the tens and ones? See, we use Dean's blocks. Instead of this, you may use the counting string as well. When you are introducing a number to the child, show them first concrete object one by one. Like if you have introduced 1, then 1, then 2. Don't go for or run after to give them a formation of the numbers. Okay. Then introduce 3, 3, then 4, then 5. When you introduce 5 numbers, stop there. Stop there and then have a number talk with them. How many you can see? 5. Can you represent through your fingers? Can you represent through your clap? Can you jump at this many times? So once you are like, you understand that yes, the children are able to count till 5. Now start counting giving them the concept behind this 5. If I take away 1, how many blocks are here? 4. Okay, which is more? This 1 block is more or this 4 is more? Right? Again, then take away 2. Which is more? Which is less? How many more? How many less? If I take 1 more, how many? Now this becomes more, this becomes less. Okay, how many do I need to make it 5? So this kind of number talk you should have, and until and unless you reach till 10, after that you need to show this tower, or you can make a bundle of 10 sticks, and then you will say, I cannot break this 10 into this ones part. Once you have 10, you have to have this bundle of 10 or the tower of 10. Now if they want, if you are like introducing 11, then again start counting 1 and 1 tower of 10 and 1, 11. 1 tower of 10 and 2, 12. How are they going to represent through their fingers? Not like this. This is not 11. This is not 12. Not at all. You should show them this is 10 and 1, 11. This is 10 and 2, 12. You can use the clap as well for the 10 fingers, the group of 10. So in this way, you can like introduce tens and ones in kindergarten, right? And once they are able to count all the tens till 20, 30, then ask them to write under T and O. Before the conceptualization or the quantification, do not make them to write even or copy even the numbers under T and O. Okay. And whenever you talk about a number, 2-digit number, please make sure that you should take the name 3 tens 131, 4 tens 141, 5 tens is more than 4 tens. So whenever you are having the quantification or the conceptualization of numbers, you should take the full, you should use the full language of mathematics, right? The way I showed in the my slides, then when we use the number while multiplication of 2-digit number, we use 2 multiplied by 3 instead of 2 multiplied by 30. When we are multiplying with 36 with 2, we say 2 zeros are 0 and 2 3s are 6 we write, but it's not 6, it's 2 30s are 60, right? So please make sure whatever concept you are using from the beginning, you should stick to that concept. Don't make them confused. Okay. Am I clear with my explanation? If you have more queries, you can ask. Any link for? Okay, I have one question. Nisha Sharma, can you please tell me what question you have? Can you please repeat how to teach tens and one in KG? Yes, similar way. Same way, you have to follow the CPA approach, ma'am. Until and unless you are not assured that your child has understood the concrete object, deal with concrete object, lots of concrete object, not only this manipulative, but ask them to represent through the pictures, right? It is very easy to draw 10 sticks, but if you ask more, if you ask them to draw four more than 10, then they get confused. So it means their concept is not clear. So whenever you introduce a number, please have a number talk. If you have introduced till 20 tak pehle number talk kijiye aap. How can you represent 20 in different way? 20 को आप कैसे दिखा सकते हो? Somebody will tell you 10 and 10. Somebody will tell you that 4 groups of 5. Somebody will tell you, okay, 2 groups of 10. Right? So have this talk in your class. How many more do you need to make it 21? If you have 20, how many more you need to make it 21? They will come up with the answers 1. Okay. What would you need to remove from here to make it 11? I need to remove 10 tars of 10. Okay. So in this way, first, make sure that the quantification and the concept of those numbers, what you have already introduced, is clear. Then only make move forward and teach them the new numbers. Okay. And please start the class with a question, and the question should be open-ended, right? Okay. I can see Hema Rathod. She has raised her hand. If you have any question, please leave your question in the chat box. Thank you all for giving your valuable time, sparing your weekend with me. Hope you have gained something, but until and unless you are implementing these things, what I have shared here, it's useless. So please use this, implement all this, whether you are a parent or a student. Okay, if you are a student, you can also ask a question yourself. If you are getting a wrong answer, instead of just watching the answer, verifying the answer from the key answers, please verify yourself. If I'm getting this answer, how it's coming, right? So whether you are parents, whether you are a student or teacher, please follow the 5 principles that I have shared today.
Thank you, Zaira ma'am. Thanks a lot for your time. And thanks a lot to all the participants. Thank you for staying with us.
Thank you. Have a nice weekend and best wishes for the new session.